Democrat, and he was implicated in the biggest sex trafficking ring in the United States, in the history of this country.
I think the word implicated is pretty strong, and I think
how would you know? But how would you know if he doesn't testify?
Because you can read the documents, you can read the emails, and this isn't just about President Trump.
But we have 3 million documents that haven't been released.
Yes, you can. The Epstein thing is a distraction. From what's actually happening from this story that happened just today, where we have an illegal immigrant from West Africa.
You brought up the idea of a registered sex offender.
Yeah, registered convicted sex offender, not the president who was named in files with no evidence at all of criminal wrongdoing. Those are two very different things. But I want to get back to the news.
Transparency. Why wouldn't you want some transparency?
There's been plenty of transparency, which is why President Trump signed the legislation to put out the document.
Ladies and gentlemen, our kids are absolutely cooked if we continue to play into these highly polarized political games that are constantly being thrust upon us by, as you see here, the mainstream media, who really, just like the lawmakers, are run by the incredibly powerful, both domestic and foreign, lobbies that truly run this country. Why do we give 2 cents whether Donald Trump or Bill Clinton go sit down with the lawmakers for questions when all of them are part of the problem? Because let's be honest, right? The politicians who for all these years, both Democrat and Republicans, who have consistently failed and consistently apparently refused to hold these people accountable, how are Bill Clinton and Donald Trump going to speak to those people? How is that going to elucidate a prosecution and conviction of those who are truly responsible for all of the PDF file and CS trafficking in this country and around the world? And trust me, if we can't protect our children, how on God's earth do we plan to protect ourselves? And here we are now. We're in a war with Iran. Now, I don't know about you. I feel like that, at least in part, is a very convenient, hey, look this way, okay, when these files are coming out. But, you know, it really has reached a precipice. The partisan, politicized politics in this country has reached a precipice whenever we look at these documents and other evidence in and around the files release, and yet nothing, absolutely nothing has been done aside from show politics, right? You have the Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, they went in a private deposition. We didn't see that. And then, we get to see the Pam Bondi display. Oh, that was great. That really made me feel real good that we're going to be moving towards an actual actual investigation. And I mean, hopefully somewhere in the world we could get a prosecution. Look, you know, like I say, I think if we really sit back and look at this, and we can all agree that we want to protect the children now and into the future, because one more thing, let's be honest. In 2007, and I don't care which party was in office, of course it was a Republican, but it really doesn't matter, because in 2007, the U.S. Department of Justice completely dropped the ball, failed to do anything to Epstein despite having a 53-page draft indictment, okay? Absolutely failed to do anything. And so at the end of the day, the Department of Justice, which we would hope transcends political parties, it doesn't seem like it does now, but anyways, they really have the most blood on their hands in this, right? And so if we are unable to come together as Americans, put this left, right, Democrat, Republican false dichotomy aside, in order to go and round up the true perpetrators in this, who have almost, and there's no credible evidence. I could go on for days. But ladies and gentlemen, if we don't come together and do what's right, our kids are cooked. And that's all there is to it. I'm Attorney Greg Lake. This is the Entheogenic Esquire podcast and YouTube channel. If you haven't, please subscribe, like, comment. We'd appreciate to have you. Thank you.